Thank you, Bean. It is a sweltering sunny Sunday to usher in the new league season here at Vicarage Road. Saints are hotly tipped for promotion. Can they get off to a winning start here in Hertfordshire under Tom de Eckert, who certainly felt the heat in the last few months? Or can Watford prove the doubters wrong and launch their own bid to return to the top flight under their new Italian head coach, Alessio Dionisi? Both came through potentially tricky Carabao Cup ties against League Two opposition last weekend. Now their championship campaigns get underway with what looks like a mouth-watering opener. So this is Alessio Dionisi's first championship lineup. It shows two changes to the side that beat Crawley in the Carabao Cup last weekend. Left-back Mark Boller with the spectacular 99th minute winner. There are league debuts for keeper Federico Ravaglia and Spanish forward Iker Bravo. Coming in are Mamadou Doumbia up front and Afghan teenager Amin Nabizadeh, a first ever senior start for him. Kwadwo Bar and Luka Karamgar dropped to the bench. Imran Luzer's not involved after he asked to leave the club on Friday. Watford didn't win any of the 4 league games he missed last season. Tom de Eckert saw Shay Charles leave for Fulham this week, but Manchester City striker Divine Mubama arrived on loan. He takes his place on the Saints bench. Cam Bragg earns a start in midfield. Kyle Larin starts up front after he came on and scored against Colchester a week ago. Tom Fellows and Ben Brereton Diaz make way. Lewis Dobbin makes his league debut for Saints after netting 3 goals in pre-season. Casper Yander should be fine for Saints' first home game of the season against Stoke City next weekend. Well, 1 or 2 new regulations to look out for, including the referee Matt Donoghue today. Substitutions obviously have to be pretty snappy. They've got to leave within 10 seconds. And then the substitute will have to wait if they're not quick enough. As for goalkeepers, well, the outfield player will have to wait again if the goalkeeper goes down. And the same with goal kicks and throw-ins. Well, the players are lining up around the centre circle to pay tribute to Kenny Jackett, who passed away in June, age 64. Watford born and bred, the one club player, played over 400 times for the Hornets before being forced to retire with a knee injury, then began a long coaching career, which included 5 years here in various roles. That's a very impressive tifo, organised by the fans who drove to Poland to pick that up, a 19-hour drive. That's how much Kenny Jackett means to this club.
428 Watford appearances. Kenny then served as manager during the 96-97 season, beginning a successful coaching career that included promotions with Swansea, Millwall and Wolves. So please show your appreciation for a true Watford legend with a mix of applause that will start from the referee's whistle.
Lovely to see Kenny Jackett's family here today, including son Ryan, who's a coach in the academy. Alessio Dionisi is Watford's 12th permanent head coach in less than 5 years as the Pozzo family search for the right man to get Watford back to the Premier League. They've been in the Championship for the last 4 seasons and failed to finish in the top 10 in any of those. Well, Tonda Eckert hopes to be Saints boss for the long term. Much will depend on the outcome of his FA charge. No news on that score. For now, he'll want to continue his 19-game unbeaten run in the Championship that took his side so close to automatic promotion. A top 2 finish is his clear stated aim this season. Well, Watford have won just one of their last 14 games against Saints. Their last win here at home was 19 years ago, when Darius Henderson scored twice late on to snatch a 3-2 victory. It was 2-2 here last season. Saints twice in front, twice pegged back. Saints are unbeaten in their last 10 league visits to Vicarage Road. And Gary Rowett alongside me, they'll certainly start as favourites here today, Gary.
Oh, absolutely they will. I mean, there's controversy swirling around the team still, but you can't ignore the fact that they have achieved over 2 points a game under Tonda Eckert, and they've been in fantastic form at the end of last season, so looking forward to see how this matchup fares today.
So away we go, the start of another new era for the Hornets under their Italian head coach. They've had a turbulent few years, rarely looking like promotion probables, and it seems that few are expecting them to be in the mix this time around either. They desperately need reinforcements. You've got a couple of senior centre-backs who are playing today. They're looking for a centre-forward as well. They do at least start on 0 points. Saints, of course, are on -4, playing catch-up right from day one. Nonetheless, their aim is a top 2 finish, and they'll be going all out to get to -1 with a win here today. Nabizada there, teenager starting down the right-hand side. Doumbia up front, Gary?
Yes, it's an interesting one. He doesn't normally play up there. They're lacking that striker. They don't seem to feel that Kieran Gard is that one that they want right at the start of the season. So, you know, at times I think he'll be joined up there as well. I don't think he'll be up there on his own Brave straight away, playing alongside him, certainly in terms of defensively.
This is Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's been the subject of interest from Benfica in the last couple of days. We're told a bid of around £17 million, which was very swiftly rejected. That's obviously less than Southampton paid for him from Manchester City. So I'd imagine the money involved would have to be an awful lot more before Saints would even consider that. It's all very unsettling, isn't it?
Certainly is, but he's a player they will not want to give away cheaply, that's for sure. He's a top player.
Manning looking for Larin. Dobbin now for Southampton.
Already you can see that Southampton threat, can't you? Every time they get into that final third, straight away, Manning just feeds one of the forward players. Cienza looks like he's playing a little bit more conventionally as a 10, and actually just picks it up, and there seems to be more players there quickly supporting with that quality. It's a bright start from Southampton.
Yes, Dobbin, who played as the 10 last week at Colchester, has started on the left-hand side for Southampton. Bottom of your picture there. It's Pollock, captain now of Watford. Cipriano looking for the run of Mamadou Doumbia. Watford have won their opening home game of the season in each of the last 6 years. Last year, 2-1 against QPR. Saints also won their opener at home last season, 2-1 with that late show against Wrexham. Ryan Manning to take the throw here. Has been a tough year for Watford so far, that's for sure. 19 points from 22 games, 48 points from 22 for Southampton. Kevin for Watford.
I think what we noticed straight away with Watford, when you look tactically, what does Dionisi done? You know, Cipriano's dropped very quickly in between the two centre-backs to create a free to try and build possession, and that's allowed the two full-backs to go really, really high. So straight away, we can see the impact he's had in terms of that shape.
Traore leaves it for Navizada. A nudge from Downs, but nothing more than a nudge. Not enough for a free kick in the eyes of the officials.
Good strength, just gets his body in there, doesn't he? Gets his body in, makes it difficult to play around, and Flynn Downs is so good at covering those defensive spaces as a defensive midfielder.
Another one who had a terrific season, Downs. Scored a very late winner against Watford in the Championship a few years ago. St Mary's. Kevin for the Hornets. Now Pollock. Bola with the ball forward. Chasing it down was Mama. Well, he's done really well, but just ran out of turf on that far side. Young Player of the Year here last season, after his move from Montpellier just over a year ago. Huge talent, the young Moroccan. Breeze header. Cienza. Larin back to Cienza. Dobbins made the run down the left. Cienza's found him. Larin! Well, Kevin, I think, did enough, because that looked a goal all the way. Beautiful build-up. The flag's up anyway. Nonetheless, it's a lovely build-up from Saints.
Yeah, we spoke about the danger, we spoke about Cienza as a 10, and you just see it there. You know, the ball breaks to him, Larin just drops it off, Cienza bursts into that area, just plays Dobbin in. I think that's initially where the offside, but as he gets into that position, it looks like a goal. And I wasn't sure whether the cross Larin was offside, but I think it was offside in that initial play. But again, it's just a little warning sign for Watford. You cannot give the likes of Cienza, Dobbin and Larin any space at all. Got away with it there.
Where Saints have the cheat code really is that they've got so many options on the bench as well in attacking areas. We saw last season that they would rotate those forward players in the second half of the season to devastating effect. Last week at Colchester was an example. Rodon Azaz and Larin, they both immediately made a devastating impact. Cienza. Well, that was pretty crunching from Cipriano. The yellow card.
He's already at the heart of everything, though, Cienza. Again, picks the ball up, he can go where he wants, a little bit of skill, just evades the challenge. As he just lands, I just wonder whether he landed on his shoulder. Straight away, if you watch it, he lands awkwardly on his shoulder and holds his arm straight away. Southampton will be certainly hoping there's no damage there, but he's just that player, isn't he? When you watch players in the Championship week in, week out, there's not many that get you on the edge of a seat and stand out every game, but Cienza certainly is a star quality.
It's a very uncompromising challenge from the Cypriot midfielder. And as you say, Gary, it's the landing that's the problem here for Cienza. We'll take another look at it.
Yeah, again, he just toes it away, flips him up in the air, and it's as he rolls, he almost rolls to create a safe landing, but actually lands straight on his shoulder and his arm, and you wonder straight away, as a manager, you know, as he popped his shoulder, as he dislocated his shoulder, it didn't look anything obvious apart from straight away he held it, straight away he grabbed it, and that's when you worry, you know, there's something wrong.
You see Finazaz immediately sent out to warm up. Speaking of uncompromising challenges, look who's here. Vinnie Jones. That challenge early on in the FA Cup final all those years ago. Reminiscent of the one we've just seen from Cipriani.
probably wouldn't even registered that as a challenge, Vinny, would he?
Well, that challenge wasn't a yellow card at the time, was it? I seem to remember. This one certainly was. Well, he's certainly feeling it. Cienza, fans and players, player of the year. Southampton last season. Garner alongside Tonda Eckert there, both desperately hoping that Cienza's okay to continue. There's James Bree. Matsuki with the ball in. Bree again. Absolutely superb when he returned to the club in the second half of the season last year. Wide by Manning. Dobbin. Manning looking to return it to Dobbin. Certainly wasn't going to be caught ball watching there. Omar Traoré handled that really well, the German right back. Certainly taken the wind out of Cienza's sails, that challenge.
He's a tough cookie though, as well as a skillful player.
Here he is, Manning. Traoré emerges with the ball for the Hornets. Dumbia up against Harwood Bellis. This could break very kindly for Bravo. On goes Bravo! It's in! A wonderful start for Watford! And for the young Spaniard, Iker Bravo, on his league debut for the Hornets. They take the lead against Southampton. The long ball up to Dumbia did the trick, but there was plenty of support. And Dionisi's side surge into the lead.
And he's been timing those runs all pre-season, through the middle, arriving late around the edge of the box. He did exactly the same last week. You can see this one, it's a ball up to Dumbia. It actually gets played back by a defender, and in a minute you're going to see a fantastic touch. It's that touch there, that touch across the defender, just gives him that shooting chance, and then it's whether he can find that finish. But you see it, he arrives, a couple of touches to control, that touch there opens a space. It's a little bit of a dink, the keeper just gets a touch, but it's not enough to stop it. It's a lovely piece of skill, lovely piece of composure, and it's a great way to open your account.
As someone we've been talking about for a long time, made his debut for Bayer Leverkusen at age just 16 back in 2021. He arrived on loan from Watford's sister club Udinese in June, and has certainly been impressing. Cienza rolling around again here. Southampton not at all happy. Pollock with the challenge this time. Well, they've certainly identified where the Saints' threat is.
Yeah, I think they've been very, very robust, shall we say, early on Leo Cienza, but what I would say is, within the laws, you have to try and find a way to stop him, because he's as good as any player in the division. And I said it earlier about, he's a tough cookie. I've seen him get kicked from pillar to post, but he just gets up and he still hurts you, and that's a sign of a really, really top mentality as well as player.
So the Watford captain booked now. Referee's talking to Kyle Larin, who was asking for a yellow card, and because he did that, he himself gets booked.
Yeah, I hate seeing that. There's no need nowadays. You know the rules, you get explained before the start of the season. What a waste of a booking.
As you say, the players all know this. It won't be a surprise.
Maybe the fact there's 4 new rules, he's forgotten some of the old ones.
Manning's free kick. Dobbin waiting for it to drop. Manning again. This is Doumbia for Watford. A lot of question marks as to whether he'd be up to that job as a central striker against these two centre-backs, but I think Dionisi will be delighted so far. He's got plenty of second-tier pedigree, by the way. Alessio Dionisi won the Serie B title in charge of Empoli 5 years ago. This time Harwood Bellis is down. In fact, there are 3 Saints players down here.
Certainly impacted the game physically so far, Watford. You mentioned Doumbia there. You know, again, he just backs in, he makes it awkward for Harwood Bellis. You know, someone like Harwood Bellis, you don't want to give him an easy ride. You want to be physical and use your ability in different ways. He's certainly done that to start with.
Well, that certainly looked accidental from the Malian, who was Young Player of the Year here a couple of seasons ago. 5 goals last season with that trusty left foot of his. Larin, beautifully done by the Canadian. Out to Matsuki, good chest trap from him, back to Larin. Now, Matsuki wanted the free kick. The challenge by Cipriano.
It's unfortunate there, it's a good touch inside. He just gets a touch, I think that's a free kick. Definitely gets a touch in front of Cipriano. Cipriano just catches him, and for me that should have definitely been a foul.
It's given away by Harwood Bellis. He's won it back there, Dobbin.
Well, again, we talk about the robustness of the start from Watford, but when you've got a forward line of Dobbin, Cienza, Larin and Matsuki, you know, you're not going to give them time. You're going to try and condense that space and you're going to try and be very, very aggressive.
Good work again from Doumbia against Harwood Bellis. It's a good one down that left-hand side, and this will be a free kick to Watford. James Bree with the challenge. Watford fans baying for a yellow card for him now.
It's very direct play against by Mama. I mean, he's very bright, isn't he, when he gets on the ball. I really do like Mama and Bravo. I just feel as though they're giving this Watford team a little bit of a different feel to it.
And it will be a yellow card for the Saints right back. 4 yellow cards in the opening 18 minutes here.
I think that's a little bit harsh, if I'm being honest. I think he gets his arm across Bree. It's actually, in some ways, maybe he does step across the path too far. I think it is a foul. I think maybe it looks like he maybe catches him in the face, and that's why it's a yellow card, but it's a little bit harsh. But I am a former right back.
Took the words out of my mouth. Oxman Mama straight up to put the ball down here. Said it's Bola who plays it in. Bove it was who had the final touch there. Italian midfielder. Well, they've certainly given Saints plenty to think about here, Watford. Remember, they ended last season unbeaten in 19 league games. Saints, 9 of those away from home. 3 games short of their club record championship unbeaten run of 22 under Russell Martin. Delightfully done. Once again by Mama. Navizada with the ball in. It's going to come to Bola. Thinking about his goal from last weekend, which was an absolute beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, one was a surprise, two I think would have been a miracle, but it's good play by Watford. I mean, moments earlier we spoke about Southampton's form, but they're going 4 for 4 at the back in goal kicks. They're pressing really high, they're being really aggressive. It's another moment where they release Nabizana down the right hand side, crossing the box, and they support play really quickly for a shot. Been a very, very positive start and brave.
Chipped forward by Howard Bellis. We saw this last week. Colchester were in on Saints very quickly when they tried to play it out from the back. They did beat that press a couple of times, which gave them opportunities, but here Watford are determined to stop them. They've got another free kick here.
Good play again, great feet, just invites a challenge, flicks it behind him, wins a free kick in a brilliant position, and again, sometimes that's just as invaluable as great play. Get your team up the pitch, another set-piece opportunity.
And it goes by Bola. There's Cipriano who got a little flick on that. Scooped forward again by Bove, and Kevin did supremely well. Mama! Peretz down on his near post. Watford have got their tails up here for sure.
Again, comes some good pressure, free kick in the box. Keep it alive, that's what done really, really well. Ends up wide, it's excellent play, just a little header, just behind, and then can he square it to one of the players in the box? Chooses to shoot. Good save from the keeper.
First corner of the match goes the way of the Hornets. Mama with it, but it will have to be retaken. Well, the referees are determined to try and stamp out this grappling. Bola is down here for Watford.
He's holding the back of his leg as well, which would suggest a little hamstring tweak maybe as he had that shot.
Physios are on here.
Sometimes you look at the body language of a player, don't you? Straight away, shirts above his face, and that suggests he's not going to be able to continue. Not what you want to feel in the first game, and a sub straight away, getting ready. So again, it looks like it's too bad to continue playing on with.
That is Jordan Zamora, who is ready to come on for the Hornets for his debut. Someone who played on the South Coast, of course, with Bournemouth, both in the Championship and in the Premier League. Well, after the high last week for Bola, and that wonderful goal, football can be cruel, can't it, a week later? He's off with just a quarter of the game gone. And the Zimbabwean Zamora, another one who's arrived from Udinese, where he's been for the last 3 seasons, will make his debut for Watford.
Fortunate they've got someone like Zamora on the bench. If that had been a centre-back, I don't think there's any other available option.
And the corner is taken to Zamora. His first touch, and it'll be another corner. And that wonderful relationship he had down the left-hand side of Bournemouth with Jadon Anthony. Now back in English football. Rama delivers, punched away by Peretz. Headed forward again by Bove. Peretz called into action once more.
been a positive start, hasn't it, for Watford? You know, you can see that they've tended to attack a little bit down the left. You mentioned about Zamora there. The one thing that Mama will do as well is when Zamora starts to attack and gets higher up the pitch, then he will drift inside. He will drift inside into those areas.
Here comes Southampton Cienza to Dobbin. Out it goes by Traore. Here's Stevens. Matsuki chasing that down. Zamora for company. Played in a completely different role last week, Matsuki. He's one of the two central midfielders. I saw him play both of those roles last season. Dobbin. Stevens. Manning. Dobbin. Little burst of acceleration. Larin looking to return it to Dobbin. Well seen by Mama. It's Flynn Downs. Harwood Bellis. Matsuki. There's no problem for Matty Pollock to get that away. Wasn't the best of touches there from Cam Bragg, but he got away with it. Harwood Bellis launches that. Awkward one for Kevin. And Larin is penalised here. He was offside. Kevin mightily relieved.
I think they're a little bit fortunate there, because at the moment the ball bounces, as a defender, Kevin, you want Ravaglia to come and command and come and tell you what to do and come and get the ball. He waited, he paused, and it just fell in between. Thankful for the linesman's flag.
Dumbia making the run ahead of Stevens. Harwood Bellis helped him out, but here's Bravo. He just couldn't prevent that going behind for a goal kick. But they're full of belief here, Watford. It's been a really good opening 27 minutes for them.
Which is surprising in some ways, because the form of Southampton, you expected them to carry on where they'd left off. Watford maybe take a little bit of time to get going with a new manager, but actually they've been far the better team.
Gino Pozzo is here for the opening day of the season. A lot of talk about new ownership. Not a lot of money in the coffers. No more parachute payments, of course. All the outfield players they have signed have come from their sister club, Udinese. But they do need reinforcements before the end of the window. Some of the fans felt that Ryan Manning was stretching the new rules to its limit there. Amount of time to take the throw in.
He's not bothered with the count that time, the referee.
Larin for Bree. Out to Matsuki. Now Bragg. And seized upon by Navizada. Here come Watford again. Can he get the ball right here, Navizada? He can! A stunning individual goal! And Watford lead by 2-0. What a moment for the 19-year-old Afghan midfielder. Made his international debut in the summer, and now he's just stunned Southampton by making it 2-0 to the Hornets.
Oh, what a start. I mean, he's been bright down this side. I was just about to say, why has he taken another touch? It looked like that touch took him too close to the goalkeeper, but it was a fantastic finish in the end. Here we go, pressed really, really well. Ball gets pinched off Manning. He breaks into the space, and you wonder at this moment, does he choose to cross? He takes another touch. I think the defender has to do better. I think Jack Stevens has to come and close the space down. It's this touch here in a minute. Now, he's got to come and close the space. He's a little bit too late, but he finds a corner. It's an accurate finish. 2-0, well deserved.
Well, it's his first senior start after 6 sub-appearances. And he's made it count in terrific style. And a Saints inquest going on here. They've got it all to do here in Hertfordshire. Quite honestly, in the opening half an hour, they've barely laid a glove on Watford.
Watford have stifled him, haven't they? Every time they're trying to build up play, they've almost gone man-for-man press. We hear about it a lot, but it's easy to say, it's harder to do. They've been very, very aggressive. All of their chances really have come from just pinching the ball and breaking and counter-attacking on a Southampton team.
Well, this tells the story, Gary. No shots at all from Southampton in the opening 30 minutes.
Well, that really is domination. I mean, you can talk about possession. It hasn't actually counted for a lot, has it? 61%. Haven't had any shots on target, not many opportunities, and Watford have been rampant so far.
Dumbia just stayed on side there. This is Mama. They're looking for more. Nabizada just got a clever nudge there from Manning. Home fans are loving this, though.
So they should be. I mean, it's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't it? I mean, again, it's been so easy to get the ball wide. You've got to go and put some pressure on. You can't just keep inviting the ball to come in your box. You know, OK, they've only got one player in there with real size. They've got lots of bodies in there, and that's where they've been a real threat so far.
The fans endured such a miserable end to the season, didn't they? 5 straight defeats with just 1 goal scored and 16 conceded. And there's always optimism at the start of a new season. And what a start here for Alessio Dionisi, with a third of this contest gone. Long way to go. Brilliantly done there by Kevin.
Yeah, you mentioned those 4 points, Gary, and that's a challenge, isn't it? When you're starting with -4, you can't afford to slip up if it's those top 2 positions that you're looking for. All of a sudden, I know there's a long way to go in this game, but you could find yourself 7 points already off the top of the league.
With 1 game played, yeah. Dumbia. Oh, he's done brilliantly again, this time against Jack Stevens. Nabizada got there ahead of Dobbin. Traore available on this near side. 5 to look for. Dumbia was beaten by Harwood Bellis. Comes to Zemura. Mama. He might take it on. Excellent block by Matsuki.
Lovely play from Dumbia, though, wasn't it? The ball gets played up into him. You want a young striker to use your body, allow people to get into play, allow the likes of Bravo, allow the likes of Bove to join in. He's done that fantastically. He started really, really brightly.
Mama. Nabizada. Right, it goes by Bove. This is Zemura. Too deep with the cross on his right side. Well, with 34 gone, it's a case of Imran Hu for Watford. Very decisive for Alessio Dionisi, who was very clear as soon as he said I want to leave, but I'll carry on training. No, you'll be training on your own. We only want people who are 100% committed.
They've played like a team so far, haven't they? That's for sure.
It's a similar story, actually, for Dan Gosling, who was given an opportunity to move, offered to work his notice period. Again, Dionisi said no, and gave Adrian Mariappa the job. Everyone from Dobbin, but Traoré matches him stride for stride.
That's great defending. You know, Dobbin looks like he thinks he can beat you for pace, he knocks it past, but that's really, really dogged defending. Gets back, wins a sliding tackle. Not give him an awful lot of change so far down this side.
Downs for Southampton. Really just looking to get going here. Get a foothold in the game. 10 minutes to half-time. Bragg. Green. Bellis loves a diagonal, and he's pinged one out towards Manning here. Lovely first-time ball for Dobbin. A run through to Bree. That wasn't great from Rabalia. Cienza couldn't sort his feet out. Zamora will clear.
Rabalio's got to do an awful lot better there, though, hasn't it? It's a simple ball in, you know, ends up pretty standard cross, just go and catch it. Just drops it, he mishandles it. You know, he's going to need to make sure with the likes of Cienza around, you can't give him any scraps to feed off at all. Yeah, we can see it there now as the ball goes wide. I mean, Bree initially runs off Mama, and it's a really simple moment. He just gets his feet and his hands a little bit uncoordinated.
He's someone that Watford have very, very high hopes for. Moved from Bologna last month, and they gave him a 6-year contract. Played in both legs of the Europa League quarter-final against Villa last season. Lost 7-1 on aggregate.
Is that why he was available?
Draw your own conclusions. Traoré. This is Kevin. Mama. Bravo. Zamora. Bravo again, good header away this time. Howard Bellis. This is Bragg. Cienza. Stevens. Manning. Well, they're certainly backing themselves here, Saints. Watford all over them, trying to win it back high up the pitch. Beautifully done by Cienza. Downs. Swerve away from Cipriano. Cienza. Get into a very good shape when they haven't got the ball, Watford. Saints found this last week against Colchester not the easiest to break down. It was later on when they made the changes that the chances really started appearing. Very compact there, Watford. Bree. He wants it back, it's a terrific run, but he couldn't take the ball with him.
James Breeze just started to pick up slightly unconventional positions. He started to come inside the pitch, lead Matsuki wider, and just occasionally Mama's allowed him just to run off him and get into a decent position. It hasn't really led to anything so far, but it's something certainly they've tweaked tactically to try and get them back into the game. That's been the difference for me at the start of the game. When you look at Watford in possession of the ball, the Southampton have been really, really slow to put any pressure on. You see these moments now, the second Southampton get it, Watford is sprinting, they're in their faces, they're stopping and building any sort of momentum.
Manning. They certainly don't go out making the running now, Watford. All the pressure here is on Saints to get themselves back into it. They'll be very keen, the Hornets, to keep their clean sheet intact until half-time. Dobbin to Manning. Cienza into Bragg. It's a very good block there by Hector Cipriano.
Just opened up for Bragg there, didn't it? It was a lovely ball by Cienza just inside to him. He just let it run across his body. Couldn't quite get the shot off.
Downs. 10 behind the ball here for Watford. There's another diagonal from Harwood Bellis. Well seen though by Traoré. Bragg. Stevens with the ball forward to Dobbin. He's got a permanent home now after several loan spells in the Championship from Aston Villa. Matsuki was caught in possession by Zamora, and here goes Doumbia. Mama to the left. And then the free kick is given. It's all very untidy from Saints.
Yeah, it's as poor as I've seen Southampton start a game. I know that Watford have been very, very good, but you expect just a little bit more zip, a little bit more intensity to their play. I mean, once again, Mama, you know, just gets there first, but you saw it moments earlier where they won the press, Zamora stepped in, won the ball back, and Southampton just feels like they're a yard off the pace, and I'm sure at half-time they're going to have to change something, because Watford have been pretty comfortable.
Well, could this outstanding first half from Watford get even better here? Mama it was who won the free kick. He takes it. Didn't reach Pollock. Bragg gets it away, and now a chance maybe for Dobbin to launch the counter. Navizada will get booked for that.
Not a bad foul though. You talk about a tactical foul sometimes when you see the opposition in a good position. Dobbin again, he's not a defender. Actually, it wasn't Bove, was it? It was in the end, it was actually the winger. But yeah, you look at those moments sometimes, and you just don't want to give Southampton a chance. You need to get into half-time sometimes by making that foul. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Navizada.
Well, you know all about the quality of Ryan Manning's deliveries with this left foot. Can he produce a quality moment here? It's another lovely ball. It was attacked by Stevens, but over the bar.
Well, you mentioned his quality. I mean, he has got pinpoint accuracy, hasn't he? To leave it behind the defence like that is an absolute dream. And actually Stevens, I mean, he's craning his neck, he's leaning back, but I do think he's got to get a better contact, and it's a decent chance for him.
Well, the Premier League returns next weekend. In fact, it returns on Friday night with the champions Arsenal against newly promoted Coventry. That's Sky Sports Premier League. On Saturday, Brentford Spurs from 5. On Sunday, Manchester City host Bournemouth from 1 on main event. That's Brighton against Villa on Premier League. And then it concludes with Newcastle, Liverpool for Monday Night Football, West London derby, Fulham, Chelsea. Navizada was lining up the shot, just took too long. Flynn Downs tracked him and nipped it off his toes. He's got it again, Navizada. Doumbia. He was hoping that Mama would be there. He has got the ball against Bree here. Will win the corner.
It's another fabulous break. It's a little pinch and a nick and a counter-attack again, and it's just a shame Nabizada, you mentioned it straight away, just delayed for a fraction of a second and the moment was gone, but it's yet another promising counter-attack. You know, they're really exploiting too much of Southampton's shape, too much space. They really need to tighten that up, Southampton, in the second half.
Third corner for Watford to be taken by Zamora. Pollock jumps.
I think he actually is a good outswinger. I think he actually gets a good contact and heads it onto, I think, Harwood Bellis. He actually gets up first. I think he just gets the initial contact. Actually, probably should do better to direct it. Defender just about does enough to put him off.
Just the one goal last season for Pollock. He was Player of the Year. We are into 5 minutes of first half stoppage time here. And a foul on Matsuki will give Saints a free kick. Still waiting for an attempt on target from his side, Tonda Eke. It's a snappy pre-season for Saints. 4 friendlies, 3 of them in Germany. Bree takes. Larin's in there. Matsuki trying to put pressure on Rivalia. Here comes the Watford counter. It's that man who's lit up this half, Mama, out to Zamora. Back to Mama, a little disguised ball by the left back. He just ran out of pitch. It's good play again from Downs.
He does so well, Downs, in that defensive position, didn't he? We mentioned it earlier in the half. You know, what he does well is gets himself in a good position, goes across and supports, but he waits. He doesn't dive in, he doesn't challenge until he needs to. That moment he steps across and averts the danger. But again, Mama for Watford, it's another counter-attack. He's really bright. He's been the main player, I think, in terms of that creativity so far.
Peretz was told to hurry up with the goal kick there by the referee, and he did. Nice work from Eduardo Bove. Mama. Zamora. Passes by Traoré. Was just a little bit sloppy from Watford. Throw into Saints. You don't want to switch off with half-time approaching. Matsuki to Dobbin. They want to cut back in on that right side. Cipriani with yet another block there.
I think it's Cipriano who just gave the ball away in that first moment, though, and you just give them that opportunity. You can't do that with Southampton at this time.
Cienza. Downs, Dobbin. Howard Bellis out to Matsuki. Probably be the last attack of the half. Howard Bellis looking for Manning. First time to Cienza. And now Larin and Matsuki. And stabbed away by Watford, and the break is on. It's Mumma. Will he take it on here? Blocked by Howard Bellis. Zamora first to the loose ball. That was very nicely rolled into Ike Bravo, and that is half-time. Well, very much bravo, Watford. What a first half for Alessio Dionisi. And it was Ike Bravo who got Watford and this terrific performance going with a very nicely taken goal. Little dink past Peretz. And it got even better when the teenager Amin Nabizadeh produced a fine moment of individual brilliance to make it 2-0. Saints, well, it's early days, but they're miles off it in this first half. At the break, Watford 2, Southampton 0. Yes, thank you, Peen. Certainly on paper, it's a very tough start to the season for Watford. Two of the promotion favourites in Southampton and West Ham, plus difficult trips to Wrexham, Swansea and West Brom. In fact, according to Opta, that is the toughest start in the Championship. Saints supposedly with the third kindest start, but it's Watford who lead 2-0 here, both sides unchanged for the start of the second 45. Watford were in front at half-time 8 times in the Championship last season. They were unbeaten in all of them, won 6, drawn 2. That's the size of the task facing Southampton, but you may remember midweek game at Leicester back in February, and his side were 3-0 down after an hour and managed to win the game 4-3. Here is Cienza. Showed too much of it to Bove and then fouled him.
It's been very quiet, Cienza, hasn't he, so far? You know, they've been very physical within Watford, but he hasn't really had much influence in the game. You mentioned it before, you know, we spoke about the forward line and the quality Southampton have. That's the one thing they have. They have got game-changing moments. They've got game-turning quality, both on the pitch and on the bench.
This is Kevin for the Hornets. Clean sheet so far for Ravaglia on his league debut. Delightful flick for Bravo. Beaten to it by Bree, but Zamora's in quickly. Lovely flick from him as well. Watford turning on the style in front of their own supporters here. What you were talking about, Gary, they want more from him, don't they?
Yeah, it's incredible when you look at such an influential player, such a talented player, for him to only have 2 touches in the opposition box in the first half. You know, you cannot influence a game with that few positions to get into. You know, they need to get there as a team, but they need to feed him more quality balls.
Matsuki has stayed down here. The referee is going to stop the game because he's holding his head. The players are holding their heads collectively because they were away there down the left side. But he was caught in the face. I think it was accidental.
Doesn't look like an awful lot. He maybe just leans with his arm. I don't think he's even got his eye on Matsuki. Yeah, just catch him, but it's certainly not intentional.
And the referee's in a bit of a no-win situation there, isn't he? Yeah, I think he has to err on the side of caution.
But it's that strange one, isn't it? When initially that started out with a serious head injury, you stop the game. Then it came to any sort of head injury, and now if it's a hand in the face, you know, you can clearly see that's not a concussive blow, but I suppose they have to be safe than sorry.
That's probably the point that Sam Allison, the fourth official, is making there to Alessio Dionisi, who saw his side rampaging clear down that left, only for the game to be stopped.
Well, he wants everything at the moment in his first game, doesn't he? He's had a good, fantastic performance from his own team, and now he wants the officials' help as well.
Has had Mikel Antonio training with his players. Dionisi with a view to perhaps signing him for the season. Of course, he was involved in a horrendous car crash a few years ago, leg broken in 4 places. But could be available, and that could be an incredible signing for Watford if it happens.
I think if any team can get Mikel Antonio half fit, he will have an absolutely incredible influence on this division.
So Matsuki now off the field, having received treatment. He knows he's got to wait a minute. This is Cipriano. 5 players booked in that first half.
This is one rule change I can't believe they don't make, you know, when it's clearly not his fault and now he has to be sidelined for 30 seconds. It seems quite ridiculous that someone hasn't stopped that.
Cipriano, little flick from Ike Bravo. Bragg was in quickly there. Right now, Watford first to every second ball. Obviously hugely encouraged by that first half showing. Next goal in this game of paramount importance. Navizada has got it through to Traore. Peretz managed to get his body in the way. Traore once more, linking up with Beauvais. Pollock. Ike Bravo to Navizada. There's no lack of confidence in those forward areas for Watford.
That's another break, isn't it? It's another blistering counter-attack, you know. Again, Navizada just plays Traore in, and it's another good touch in front of the incoming defender. Gets a decent contact, couldn't quite find a gap, good goalkeeping, but just shows they're just not snuffing these attacks out, Southampton. They didn't do anything about it first half, and they haven't done anything about it at the start of this second half.
Zamora. Pollock. Navizada. Cleared by Stevens. Dobbin. Downs. Manning to Cam Bragg. Downs. To James Bree. Manning. Dobbin looking for Larin. Long from Ravalli up to Doumbia. Larin. Dobbin. Cienza. Can he produce something here, Cienza? Walloped away by Cipriano. Downs. Bree. Sticky against Zamora. Saints win it back again. This is Bragg. Manning looking for Dobbin. Pollock went across to help out Traore there.
It's really good covering from Pollock, isn't it? When you're Mason trouble, going to help him out. We spoke about it with a Watford goal, but Stevens, you know, the guys at half-time spoke in the same way. Could he get out and stop it? That one there, Pollock doesn't even ask for help. He just gets straight across and does his job.
Cienza. I wouldn't be surprised to see him moved out to the left-hand side. I think he could be way more effective out there. This is Dobbin. That might be his last contribution, because Southampton are ready to bring on Finn Azaz. So Eckert's seen enough with just 9 minutes gone in the second half. Huge talent to bring on Finn Azaz. Stevens getting the better of Dumbia.
It was a little bit strange to see at the starting line, wasn't it, in terms of, like you mentioned it in commentary, that Cienza nearly always plays on the left. Dobbin played last week as a number 10, a natural 10, and Azaz as well. So to see Cienza in there, maybe they've analysed the game and seen something that they maybe like in there, but he hasn't had the effect at all. He's definitely going to be a little bit more space and time out on the left.
Cienza. Manning. With Bellis. It's a sultry Sunday. Really hot now in Hertfordshire. Manning. Bragg. Smuggled it through to Larin. Bragg again. Larin! A huge goal back for Southampton. Kyle Larin, red hot at the start of the season once again. A foothold in the game for Saints, and they are right back in it.
And it was all about Bragg in the build-up. He does fantastically well. You know, he just shapes to switch it, runs through the middle, little 1-2 with Larin, and just as he goes to shoot, all the defenders get committed to that. He pokes it back inside to Larin. It's a lovely little reverse pass. Doesn't have much time, quick touch, quick toe poke, goal scorer's goal, really well taken, but Bragg does fantastically well with that pass there. It's a lovely piece of composure.
Another goal for the Brampton Bagsman after netting against Colchester last week. 8 goals in his last 14 Saints appearances.
It just came at a time where Watford just looked as though they were losing a bit of intensity. You mentioned the heat, that's going to be their challenge, but certainly now this is going to give Southampton a huge lift. Important 5 minutes for Watford.
So Finn Azaz is on for Dobbin. So Cienza out to the left-hand side, Azaz in the number 10 position. Last season's joint top scorer with 11 goals, Azaz, plus 7 assists. Oh, Downs trying to burst through. Larin! Pushed away by Ravalia, and suddenly Saints believe.
Just comes from a little bit of uncertainty in the Watford defence. Look, clear your lines. Kevin has the opportunity, Pollock has the opportunity, gets deflected. Just drops to Larin. As he drops now, catches it with the inside of his foot. He doesn't get a full contact onto it. It's just enough to give Ravalia a chance to make a save. Good save.
So, Saints' first corner in the 58th minute. Cienza to take. Downs. Bragg. Straight to the opposition, straight onto the chest of Bravo. Mama. Outside of the boot, looking for Bravo. Brilliantly done! Oh, what a challenge that is from Manning. That might well have saved the goal.
What you're about to see is the pass of the game from Mama outside of his foot. He just leaves it in a space for Bravo to run onto. It is a brilliant, brilliant tackle from Manning, doing his job, getting his mates out of trouble, gets across, gets a toe on it, twists his knee, hopefully doesn't hurt himself in the process, but that could be a game-saving challenge from Manning.
Oh, what a game we've got on our hands here now. Zamora whipped away by Larin. Could not be more fascinatingly poised with just over half an hour to go. Reminder, Dobbin, the player who was replaced. Abizadeh. He wanted the free kick. He's not going to get it. Downs. It's the away end you're hearing now. Bree. Looking for Larin, Pollock away. Just Bragg. Manning for Azaz. Pollock went across to engage with him effectively. Away by Traoré.
Just look like they're creaking a tiny bit, Watford, don't they? I mean, they've done so well so far, and it's one moment of quality.
Side netting in the end. Azaz looking to get straight into the action.
Oh, well, everyone stopped to wait for the substitutions. It was a quick throw. Half a chance from Finn Azaz. We mentioned about his goal-scoring quality, his game-changing quality. Just as a shot, doesn't get the right connection and it ends up wide. I think this is down to that lack of energy. I think he's seen something there, Dionisi. I need to change it. I need to get that energy back. It might be a little formation tweak as well, but he's certainly been very, very proactive.
So a triple change with Kayembe, Adupoku and Payero. The Argentinian midfielder coming on for his full debut. Both goal scorers replaced with Bove.
Same formation it looks like. It looks like Kayembe's gone alongside Cipriano to give them maybe a little more physical and solid base at the heart of midfield. But it doesn't look like tactically they've necessarily changed it. Maybe just the energy initially.
Well, he'll be slightly concerned now. 2-1, Saints coming on strong. They did win 4-3 here at Southampton 10 seasons ago, just a few days after losing the EFL Cup final. Could we be in for that sort of thriller here this afternoon, the way things are poised?
It always amazes me. I've stood on the sideline so many times, but it amazes me how one moment in the game can just change the whole complexity, the whole mood and the whole energy of the performance.
Yeah, sometimes you just stop doing all the good things you've been doing. Here is Kayembe. And there's 5 up here for Watford. Took the shot on. It's blocked by Harvard Velez, and now it's Matsuki. Stevens. pressure there from Piero. Too much pressure. Downs didn't like that one bit. Referee straight across to defuse that situation. Cienza isolated there with Traoré. Bragg, Downs, and Howard Bellis. Natsuki. Take on Zamora, do well to beat him for pace. Bragg. Just an air of anxiety around Vicarage Road. It's party time during the half-time interval. A little bit more nail-biting now for the Hornets faithful.
Yeah, they're going to have to get to grips with this change. I think Tonde Ekar, what he's done is he's just pushed Fizazaz a little bit higher centrally. Gets into that position straight away. It's offside in that moment. What they've done is, you know, he's pushed him a little bit higher. Cienza's gone a little bit wider. They've ended up pushing players, Flynn Downs, a little bit higher as well. And all it's done is it's dragged Watford into a slightly tighter shape and opened the sides of the pitch up. And that's where Southampton have just started to get a little bit of joy in space.
This is Piero for Watford. Mama. Kevin, a bit of pressure there. Certainly there's been a change in the last 10 minutes. Look at those action areas with Saints really pushing now to draw level at 2-2. Howard Bellis.
I think the action areas have been down to Southampton pressing a lot higher. They've put Watford under a lot more pressure, and that goal's just added to it as well. But they've definitely stepped up 20 yards. They've definitely been a lot more aggressive in their play.
Free. Natsuki. Excellent tackle from Kevin. Bragg for Howard Bellis. Manning benefiting from that ricochet. Now Azaz, and now Larin. Looking for Bree, and he underhit the pass. Slightly surprised he didn't take it on himself.
Yeah, especially for a man that's just scored a goal. You know, you wouldn't imagine your number 9 is going to offload and give someone else the opportunity. But certainly, if he's going to do that, he needs to play that a little bit crisper. They do get a deflection in the build-up. They end up with Manning inside the pitch and overloading. And as it comes out to Larin here, you wonder if he's going to shoot. It's not the worst decision, but it's a very, very poorly executed pass, and the moment's gone. It's a good opportunity for Southampton.
It's a really good bit of business, isn't it? Just over £2.5 million they've signed Larin for from Real Mallorca after that terrific loan spell in the second half of last season. Worth every penny. Cienza and Traoré is penalised as he tried to block Cienza from going down the outside.
That's what he can do, Cienza, can't he? You know, he just drags the defender in, thinking he can nick the ball, and he just shifts it down the line, and he does enough to win a great position. But he's just started to get on the ball. He's just started to cause one or two problems out on that side for the fullback.
$28 goals they scored from set plays in the Championship last season. Huge number. Second only to Coventry with one more. Much of that down to this man, Manning, who's over the ball. Gave him the big build-up. Let us down a bit there. Manning has got that inside. Bellis, Matsuki, Bree, Azaz. Matsuki, Downs, Azaz. Oh, the header back across goal. Bellis getting above Larin.
Just starting to feel like they're hanging on a little bit, Watford, at the moment to that lead. It's a good ball in. Bellis again, he gets in a good position, but he can't get the purchase on the header. Just needs to try and direct it to the far post, back where it came from, as they say. Just doesn't manage to find the accuracy.
So it's the two players who linked up for the Saints goal who go off, Bragg and Larin. Samuel Edozie is on, and there's a debut for Divine Mubama, who joined on loan from Manchester City just 5 days ago. 5 goals on loan at Stoke last season, including a hat-trick against Bristol City. Kayembe, excellent work once again from Flynn Downs. Cienza. First touch here for Edozie. He's got it into Azaz. Azaz! Well, straight away you can see the options that Tom de Eckert has got, bringing on the likes of Samuel Edozie and Azaz to freshen the attack.
Yeah, I just wonder, as that ball goes into Azaz from Edozie, I just wonder whether he can let it go, because Flynn Downs was just arriving into space, looked like maybe he could leave it and get a shot, but as he does, he takes a touch. Can't quite find the accuracy, but again, I have to keep reminding myself of Watford are actually winning this game, but they just feel like they're hanging on, and you know, maybe that's the changes in the quality that Southampton have and the way that they test you in late stages.
Downs to Azaz. To Cienza. Wins the corner off Traore. Just under 20 minutes to go. Can Watford resist this Saints pressure, which is increasingly sustained? Cienza easily away by Adupoku. Cienza once more, better angle this time. Similar result though. Manning. Cienza was brought down there, that'll be a yellow card. It's Doumbia.
Yeah, silly challenge as well, isn't it? Manning just nicks it, comes in. There's no point doing that to Cienza. You're just giving him another opportunity. You mentioned, I know he didn't quite live up to the billing, but you mentioned Manning, his quality. You know, he always, or virtually always, puts it on the money, and you just keep inviting pressure, balls in the box, an opportunity. You have to switch on and do the right things in these games when there's a long way to go still.
You certainly don't want to keep giving Ryan Manning these opportunities. Bellis was waiting, great header away by Cipriano. Headed forward by Downs. He's there again, Cipriano. Mama against Downs. The decision goes Watford's way, and a really angry reaction from Mama to Downs, and it's all kicking off now. mentioned we've had plenty of yellow cards. There'll be more to follow here.
It's silly from Mama because he just put his head into Downs, I think, and I don't think he necessarily pushed it and he's in trouble at all, but it was just needless. There's no need to do that. You're at a stage of a game, don't get down to 10 men. Don't give your team even more of a hurdle when you're in such a fabulous position.
The referee spoken to the two captains. He's calling both players over now, Mama and Downs, for a ticking off. Yellows for both.
I think with so much beautiful hair involved in that head-to-head clash, maybe that's made it look a little bit worse.
Lustrous. So we're up to 8 cautions now. Man Mama might well be coming off because Rocco Vata is getting ready to come on, the Republic of Ireland attacking midfielder. Kayembe couldn't quite squeeze that through to Payero. Chipped by Ravalia. It's over Doumbia. Do have Luca Kerimgal as an option through the middle, but they are really depleted in that area. Two areas that really matter, centre-back and centre-forward. They've got to get busy in those departments, Watford.
Looks like he's run out of steam a little bit, Doumbia, doesn't he? He was fantastic first half, a real handful, pinning the centre-halves, gave Harwood, Bellis and Stevens a really, really difficult time, but now it just looks like he's a little bit easier to play. They seem to be a little more in control. Maybe it's time for a change.
Harwood, Bellis to Edozie. There's a foul by Zamora. Tricky customer, Edozie. Only made a couple of championship starts last season.
It's really good as well. He can go both ways, can't he? You see Fakes to go outside, just cuts inside. It's another free kick. I mean, cumulatively, you have to start to wonder if you just continue to keep giving these away. At what point does Southampton, just in a numbers game, end up capitalising?
Mama off, Vata on. Vata, who would have played far more last season if it hadn't been for the hamstring problems he had. Just 12 appearances. Signed from Celtic a couple of years ago. Of course, his dad had spent some time in the 90s. James Bree to take this free kick. Oh, great ball. And Jack Stevens looked favourite to finish that off.
Yeah, it's actually a great position. It's a lower ball, and just as the defenders come out and then back in again, probably is just offside, but it just bounces before him, and he actually looks like he gets his heels caught in the ground, doesn't get any contact.
It's a poor cross and Paddy Pocket. Coming up after us, it's Burnley versus West Ham at 4. Two of the relegated clubs going head-to-head at Turf Moor. The teams are in, as you can see. Here's Cienza. Harwood Bellis. Azaz. Little flick from Mubama, trying to find Cienza. Kayembe, Dumbia. He's done extremely well there. Piero. Hooked away by Edozie. Zamora. And it goes. Cipriano says Batter. His first contribution. It's opened up for Batter.
Certainly did open up for Batter. He just ends up drifting inside, carries it, opens again. It's that moment there, and you just need to find the finish. Maybe curl it the other side, and he actually looks like a player that probably hasn't played an awful lot of football, and he just ends up screwing it wide just the other side of the goalkeeper. It's a good opportunity, but actually it feels now that Southampton, they made those changes, it felt like they were on top. Sometimes you wonder as a manager, if you make those changes, do you lose the momentum? Do you lose a little bit of rhythm by chasing it? It just feels a little like they've lost that little momentum that they had 5 minutes ago.
This is Manning, Cienza. Foul by Manning. Disbelief etched all over his face. Frustration etched all over his. Cienza, Mubama. That's a key to Harwood Bellis. Azaz. Edozie. To fin Azaz. Mubama was calling for that on the far post. Instead it deflects behind for a corner.
Yeah, just had a man overload as well at that back post. You said it, Mubama was calling for it, but there was also Cienza just behind him. It was a ball that needed just to be hung up and lofted to the back post and use those numbers there.
Championship goals from corners last season. Southampton, they'd love one here. Manning takes. There's a big leap there from Harwood Bellis. An even bigger one to get it away. Sticking with the in-swinger, but a change of taker, Bree to take this one. Great header from Matty Pollock. Downs. Dumbia won that one. So really chasing down Peretz there as well. Azaz. Harwood Bellis back to Azaz with a delightful cushioned header. On the cross from Azaz, good header away by Kevin. Bree. Downs. Manning. Watford digging in here. Trying to keep their lead intact. Bree. Edozie. Courier Mansuki. Harwood Bellis. Cienza. Yeah. Scooped forward by Piero. Batter will give chase. Very well defended that by Harwood Bellis. And fine for Azaz. Now it's Cienza. The Brazilian creates something here for Southampton. Pollock's header away again.
Like a magnet, Pollock, isn't he? One captain supposedly doesn't want to be here, and the other one very much does, because he's headed about 3 balls away in the last 5 minutes.
Zaz was brought down there, and another yellow card is the result. This one's for Payero.
It's another opportunity to put it in the box. Again, look, needless. Zaz, you know, he's not really going anywhere in that moment. It's another chance to put a bit of quality. Have to defend it again. You know, you have to be disciplined. You have to be concentrated. You cannot keep giving away these cheap free kicks. You are going to get punished at some point.
Another nervous hush descends around 3/4 of Vicarage Road. Could hardly put this in a better position. Ryan Manning scored a fabulous free kick here last season, direct. Manning takes, punched away by Ravalia. Edozie, cleared by Kayembe. Manning, that's another free kick. Traore the guilty party this time.
So difficult when you get tired, you're having to defend for long periods of time. You know, it's just that timing on the challenge, it's just staying on your feet and dealing with the attacker and not getting too rash and not making those mistakes, but they keep doing it.
Well, I mentioned a few seconds ago that Manning scored a terrific free kick here last season to make it 2-1 to Southampton, before Aaron Kunda produced maybe an even better one to equalise. He may well fancy this. Netted a free kick on the opening day of last season against Wrexham as well. Manning scored 4 direct free kicks in the Championship last season. Or would it be Bree, maybe? It is Manning, but it's over.
Just wondered, you mentioned about Bree taking it, I wondered if the angle of his run up, it looked like he could only get the ball that side, and actually, for me, maybe the whip across the keeper might have been the better option. Couldn't quite get it up and down. It's not a bad opportunity. It was a decent amount of distance out, but Manning, like you say, is very, very accurate normally in those situations.
Watford getting tantalisingly close to an opening day victory here. Saints' 19-game unbeaten run in the league under very serious threat now. Edozie. Downs. Now Azaz. Matsugui. Manning. Committed himself there, Adepoku. Manning's cross. Edozie. Flynn Downs managed to hit Azaz with that. Manning. Cienza. Bree. Edozie. He's first to the loose ball. Matsugui. Can Cienza keep that in? Brilliantly done. Here's Azaz. It's a giveaway. Seized upon by Payero, but not for long. And then Flynn Downs with a giveaway. Releasing that pressure.
Just can't get out now, Watford, can they? You know, they've got Doumbia up the pitch on his own now. We spoke about it first half. He had lots of bodies around him, lots of support. But at the moment now, it's almost a back 9, if you like. But are defending a lot of the game, you know, having to keep their shape really, really resolute. You cannot afford to make a mistake.
Going to see Ben Braden Diaz coming on for Saints for the closing stages. Hard-working Mamadou Doumbia orchestrating the crowd there. He's given everything for the Hornets' cause, leading the line with distinction. minutes of normal time to play. Certainly stepped it up in the second half, Southampton. 10 attempts, 70% possession, but only one goal to show for it. They're going to pay the price for that very much below par first half performance. Manning's ball in towards Mubama. Well seen by Kevin.
Yeah, it's good defending. I think Pollock and Kevin have been fantastic in the heart of the Watford defence. You know, they've had to keep covering, they've had to stay alert, keep switched on. It's another moment where Kevin just gets across and helps his defensive partner out and snuffs out what might have been an opportunity.
Another industrious display from Kuria Matsuki. He is replaced by Ben Brereton-Diaz, who actually played through the middle as a central striker in pre-season and against Colchester last week. '90th minute, Manning to take. Great header from Doumbia. He chases his own header and he keeps it in. Oh, should have done.
He's epitomised though, Watford, hasn't he? He's epitomised the effort, he's epitomised just keep trying to do the right things. He's doing everything he can for his team to see if he can get this result.
Manning. Azaz trying to turn away from Kayembe. Pollock gets it away. No real Saints protest there. All eyes on the fourth official, Sam Allison, to tell us how much stoppage time there will be. This is an important number, and it is 5, just as it was in the first half. Collective groan from the Watford supporters. I think Manning took the ball off the ball boy there. That's why there's a lot of fuss about nothing.
Well, usually at this point the ball boys are coached to just keep hold of it a tiny bit longer.
Azaz to Manning. Azaz and towards Mubama. Great header from Pollock. A lovely touch from Doumbia and Kayembe for Vata. Bit of pace on the counter here. Edozie is the defender. Still Vata. Looking for Doumbia. Great header by Stevens. Free for Azaz. He's looking for Divine Mubama.
Pollock there again, shepherding it back to his goalkeeper again. I think he's been superb today. You know, his captain's performance so far, I hope he can manage to get through it, but his head's been on absolutely everything.
Cipriano. Bree beaten by the spin on the ball there. Down goes Vata. Well, the free kick has been given. Edozie can't believe it.
You just love those type of free kicks at this stage of the game. If you can buy one right at this moment, it allows you that opportunity to try and get the ball as far up the pitch as possible.
Well, you've given us a hint, Gary, but who's your player of the match?
Yeah, I think Matty Pollock's been brilliant. I think we had some fantastic performances in the forward line earlier on, but I think for me it's been the last 10-15 minutes that Pollock's really led the team by example. Played a captain's role, headed the ball out of the box numerous occasions, and he has led what so far has been a fantastic Watford performance.
Will he be on the winning side, I wonder? Imran Louza there, former Watford captain, watching on, seeing the current Watford captain get player of the match. Long from Manning. Oh, a chance here, and he's put it wide. It's Taylor Harwood-Bellis who'd gone up top and could so easily have pinched a point. And instead, it bobbles wide.
Well, I straight away looked at the linesman's flag, it didn't go up. I can't quite believe Taylor Harwood-Bellis. It's dropped to him, it's gone over the defenders, he's took a touch. His touch is okay, it's not fantastic, but it sets him, and all he's got to do is find the target. And I hate to say it, but it's a centre-back's finish if ever I've seen one at this stage of the game. And at the moment, that looks like the last moment they potentially will have.
Well, the Watford fans building a crescendo of noise here, closing in on an opening day victory. Remember that they've got a great record on the opening day of the season, but they haven't won a home game against Southampton for some 19 years. Harwood-Bellis up again. That was very, very awkward for Cipriano, and behind it goes for a corner. Saints piling on the pressure in the closing seconds.
Yeah, he just got headed down. It just looked like Cipriano had just shinned it over his goalkeeper. Fortunately, it finished wide.
Seconds remain, and the goalkeeper is up here. Peretz bolstering the attack as Manning curls it in, punched away by Ravalia. Yeah, another corner.
Well done, goalkeeper, a lot more decisive this time.
Peretz has stayed forward again, and he's up there, and he's beaten by his opposite number. Great punch, Azaz back in. Peretz is still in there, and it'll spin behind for another corner in this frantic finale.
Yeah, it's an incredible end. But what I would say is, again, I spoke about Ravalia earlier, not quite being comfortable with his hands, but he's punched a couple away.
Past the 5 minutes of stoppage time, Manning takes, Ravalia with the punch, and there is the full-time whistle! Victory for Watford! A first league game in charge for Alessio Dionisi, and it's the perfect day. Coming up against one of the promotion favourites, they got the job done with that majestic first half performance. They had to ride out the storm in the second half, but what tremendous character they showed. And once again, they win their opening home game of the season for the 7th year in a row. Ika Bravo and young Amin Nabizada with the first half goals. Yes, Southampton pulled one back through Kyle Larin, but the equaliser wouldn't come, and Saints stay on -4 points. 7 points off the lead with only one match played. But this is all about Watford. A wonderful first day of the season for them. It is finished. Watford 2, Southampton 1.